What up, guys? It's your boy Nick again, back again with another video. So right now I'm about to tell you a little bit about the updates, a couple of things that are going on that are exciting with the writing utensil. It's gonna be really fun. So let's get right into this video. Hey guys, yeah. So this product is kind of cool because what happened to me was when I developed the product. When we developed the product, it was pretty cool because what happened was I ended up carrying around a bunch of like pencil cases when I was in school, like in college. You have to carry around the pencil cases, then you have to have like multiple pencils or multiple pens, and you'd lose one, and you'd be like, what's going on? There's multiple, like just having that hassle of having multiple pencils. So this is supposed to erase that problem, and the fact is, which is pretty cool. The thing that I struggle with is I didn't like the permanency of pens. It's pretty sucky to be able to write something and make a mistake and then have to draw a line through all of them and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that's why I personally chose not to use pens, especially not in college when I was doing a bunch of math. It just didn't work out for me. But pens do write better for notes. So what I like to do is I like to trade out my notes, having pen being my notes, and do my workings in pencil. Right, so I do my workouts, my math, or whatever it is in pencil. If you want to draw a picture or whatever, but I did that all in pencil. But I did my other work in pen, right? And the other feature that we have in this product, which is pretty cool. Well, it comes from a sad, background. Honestly, with COVID-19 and what it has done to this world, I think it was very crazy because it actually, when Shar and I were about to get married, we had a scare right before with COVID-19 because we got married in 2020 when it was like the height of COVID, and we're like, I don't know, we don't want to catch COVID right before. It actually ended up knocking out a couple of our groomsmen. I had a funny idea to bring the bridesmaids to walk with a mannequin with a tablet on the face for the groomsmen, but obviously my wife didn't buy that. I don't think anybody would have, but who cares, right? Okay, so and then the times that I contracted COVID once, which crazy enough, as of this recording, my wife is positive of COVID-19. She's not feeling any symptoms, so it's kind of weird. It's like I'm sick, but I'm not. But having that idea of being like, well, where did I catch it? What could I have done to not catch it and contract it? That's the whole deal about having the antimicrobial thing, deal to the Ultensil, right? Because antimicrobial is what would resist that, which is kind of cool because when I go to stores and I look at those self-checkout screens, or I see that little pen hanging out, the pen that they use to type on the screen or they tell you to touch the screen, I'm like, and I don't know who touched that. I don't know if I want to be the one to touch that, because they might have had COVID and not even knew, because asymptomatic or whatever you want to call it, that happens now. So it's kind of crazy. So this has been about a year's journey, right? So we've spent the last year researching, trial and error, a bunch of flops, a bunch of people who didn't necessarily know what we were doing, and sent us a lot of sending us basically chasing our tail when it comes to creating the product. We did a lot of testing and spoke to different people like you guys that helped us out with different things to try out and do, and we worked through most all of them and got through to the best solutions. And we have a catalog of videos. If you want to check out more of them, you can see that journey of things where we got this plastic thing that was supposed to be a pen because we 3D printed it, and it was not a pen. I'll tell you that much. It was a plastic thing that was supposed to be a pen. That's exactly what it was. So this product is supposed to solve all those issues, right? This product, the writing utensil. So it's the ultimate writing utensil for you, right? So it's gonna have 3 in 1. It's gonna have a pen, a pencil, and a stylus, right? And all of that, on top of all of that, it will be antimicrobial, so we don't have to necessarily be concerned about those crazy germs, right? Or germs or bacteria, which it's pretty cool the idea behind the stylus, right? The stylus is for you to have a utensil that you can actually go around and touch any screen that's around, because it's, you know, it's kind of tough with COVID to track, because I know I was playing like Sherlock Holmes to figure out where did I get what I got, you know? Well, what could I have done differently? So having that that utensil to be able to touch the screens that you don't want to touch is fantastic. Just thinking about it, I'm like, I can't wait. I'm excited, right? I hope you're excited too. Probably are, since you're tuning in, right? Something to be of note is what I learned between the time of researching was passive and active styluses. So an active stylus, you can think of like the Apple Pen or the Samsung Note Pen, right? These things they have complex intricacies where you can press a button and erase stuff, and you know, you can, when you hover over the screen, it has the marker or indicator that is there. This has a lot of cool features. We chose not to go that way for a specific reason though. The active stylus only works for specific software, and yes, I am a software engineer, and because I'm a software engineer, I know the pain of trying to integrate one software into another, like having something go across multiple platforms, and Apple is notorious for updating things and then eventually breaking the old stuff. So I'm like, okay, yeah, active styluses. And along with that, I had the experience when I was working, when I had my laptop that didn't come with a stylus. Literally, I had to search for like 5 of them. I was like, nope, that don't work. Nope, that don't work. Nope, that don't work for the active stylus. So we chose to actually go passive, which the active, you know, it emits an electrical signal. I don't mean to nerd out too much. And then, you know, the computer reads it and say, okay, that's a stylus, right? Now, passive is basically, it uses a capacitive tip, which I found was pretty cool. I was like, man, okay, capacitive tip. In engineering, I learned a little bit about capacitors and inductors, and funny enough, how your phone is able to wirelessly charge is through inductors, and then capacitors. I'm not too sure how they work per se when it comes to touching the screen. I know that it probably emits some sort of like voltage that goes and it changes something in the screen, and then from that voltage you get some signal that tells it, oh, this is a finger or whatever. But we were finding issues with the screens not recording some of the things that are passive styluses, like passive material. So we were like, maybe it has to do with surface area and yada yada yada. So I hope you're not asleep from what I've just nerded out with, because I was like, yeah, it seems pretty cool. But I know something that would wake you up right now if you left a like on this video. Now, certain materials also are antimicrobial, which is pretty cool. And I didn't find this word until later. I didn't know what antimicrobial is. I knew what antibacterial was. It resists bacteria. And then I knew what antiviral was. It resists viruses. So I was like, when developing it, I was like, let me see if I can create an antibacterial, antimicrobial one. And when I was developing it, the Ultensil, I was thinking, oh, let me see if I can work with a antibacterial and antiviral. Well, turns out the word is antimicrobial. Boom, it's all microbes, right? I don't know much about microbes or anything like that. I'm not that deep in this. I actually probably failed. I basically failed chemistry. I barely made it out of that class. Anyways, so, but the thing is about antimicrobial materials, they don't necessarily kill microbes on contact. It's more like it doesn't facilitate or house it for growth. You know, like when you leave out a piece of meat in the air, and room temperature, it tends to build and develop things. That's why you're supposed to keep your food refrigerated or whatever. Antimicrobial materials stop that growth of bacteria. So it doesn't necessarily kill it on contact, but it kills it over time so it doesn't stay on there. So if you left it for a little bit, it would go away, which is pretty cool with most antimicrobial services, because you can get that. People do that in like big companies do it in their stores. The places that you commonly touch tend to have some sort of spray, antimicrobial, or railings tend to be of antimicrobial materials. Not to get too grotesque, but the toilet seats are made out of these things, so obviously you resist germs and whatever else that's on there. So we've had a couple of questions, well, a question that was there, and I would like for us to have a little bit more questions. I'd like to answer a little bit more things that you're thinking about, which would be really cool. So if you could leave a comment below, that'd be awesome. I'd be glad to answer those questions for you in that upcoming video, you know, and I answer it in the comment section as well. But something that was brought up as a concern was the triangular feel of it, or the triangular shape. It was of concern that it was going to be uncomfortable, and we took that into consideration, and we're like, okay, amen, okay, it might be very hard to be comfortable when it's triangular. So we're like, okay, let's change it to be cylindrical. Try to say that fine. Oh, no, I messed up. Oh well. So cylindrical is what we wanted to make the actual shape, instead of being triangular, and then we're gonna slap a comfort grip on there so it's comfortable to use for long term. We don't want to make it too long, but again, if you have any more questions, by all means, I'd love to answer that, so just leave a comment below. So in the next video, I'm actually going to teach you about how to make your own stylus pen, which is pretty cool. And it's not those weak sauce pens that have the stylus on the top, or that weak sauce pen that has the rubber tip that doesn't feel comfortable when you write on the bottom. It's going to be a cool one, and I'm going to tell you the different antimicrobial surfaces you can use today to resist viruses or whatever. When somebody touches your shoulder or whatever, it's going to be pretty cool there. And then obviously give you different updates about what's going on with the Writing Utensil. So if you're loving this content, just drop a sub, you know, so you can stay up to date to anything. We have a bunch of things on the channel. We're going to keep pumping out videos for you to be stay updated. So until next time, stay in tune.